Wow, that gives me the willies still today. So we love that, starting out every show with that. And we're glad you're here tonight. We have a bunch of people on. We have a good cast tonight. We have Matt and Daniel Rigner down here. They're going to be doing some Legos tonight. We're welcome, Daniel.
Hello.
And Matt, got your gear on, and something special there in the middle of the table we'll be talking about later on. And we have Dave Anderson here, an old friend of ours from Phoenix, Arizona. And wow, that is slick. You're coming on. I was wondering where everybody's at, but
done, right?
I'm not supposed to mention that because that's how slick it is. But I'm still, my heart is still racing from that opening.
Yes.
That's how I get up in the morning. I literally, it starts out, boom, anyway. Dave, welcome from Arizona. Nice out there. And Dave is our family game expert. Dave has hundreds of games and has really gotten the whole community of friends of his into gaming. And so he's going to talk about some cooperative games that you don't have to fight over.
Yes.
No tears games.
No tears.
Games that
everyone works together. It's teamwork.
Yep. Hey, thanks for coming, Dave. And then we have Noah Dixon. He's here, and he's going to talk about his favorite YouTube channel, one of his favorite. He's going to talk about a couple of them, but he's in the kitchen today, the Born to Be Brave kitchen. And welcome, Noah. How's it going?
Going good.
You got your own box tonight, your own square, rectangle. You're not. Last night you shared with your dad, but you just got a big increase in your contract, and now you got your own rectangle.
I did, yes.
And your dad is here somewhere. Evan is here. He's down in, I don't know, some discotheque or something.
Yeah.
He's clubbing in the basement of his house. Very impressive. So Evan's from Anderson, South Carolina, originally from New Orleans.
That's right.
And we need to pray for New Orleans right now because they say it could become the epicenter next.
That's right.
Lots of things happening. So it really is a time to be in prayer. So we're all on here now, right?
All clear.
Evan, you're going to co-host with me tonight, and we're going to start out with a chat question, right?
That's right. We got a chat question. So since we're talking about favorite YouTube channels, it looks like we got a people on here. Carter's on here. Ben's on here. His boy Lorenzo, Aaron, and Grant. Y'all send us some of your favorite YouTube channels. Let us know what they are. What kind of things do you watch on YouTube? Some with your parents, some without. I know it just depends on what age you are and what you're watching, but we want to know what you're looking at on YouTube.
Andy and Jack Milan are on tonight, and Andy says you should smash a giant Jello cake. I thought it said yellow cake, but giant Jello cake. That'd be good. We need to write that down, Matt, for the Wheel of Destruction, which we are setting up soon. We're eagerly waiting to find space for the wheel, and it'll be out soon. So, all right, let us see that in the chat. Put it up there, and we'll be able to recognize that and say, see how you're doing tonight. Noah, you're up. And we're talking to Noah about what he is interested in and what he could contribute tonight to the live TV. And what did you come up with tonight, Noah?
All right, so I like to watch YouTube, and one of my favorite YouTube channels when I was a little younger, my sister likes it, it's called EvanTube. So basically what they do is they do all these challenges, and basically they do these food challenges. Well, what I wanted to do was I wanted to, make my own sandwich with a food challenge on this. So we're gonna eat it after, so we'll see how nasty it is. All right, so we got the cameraman here, and we're gonna start over here with our sandwich. Then we gotta put it on. You gotta get your strawberries, and then you're gonna add about a couple of these on here. Okay.
Make it a full.
You want me to full?
Oh yeah.
Put a lot on there. All right. Okay. So as you see, we got our strawberries on here.
Let's go to the speaker view. Let's put him on full there. I want to see what that looks like up close here. Let's see.
You want to go up close?
No, we want to put the full camera on there if we can, because I want to see that. That's nasty looking. I'm talking.
Oh, yeah.
That's the strawberries.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Well, you need to wash your hands so you don't get the coronavirus.
Right.
That's nice.
Okay, but you need to grab some Lucky Charms here, and then put some of those on top. Real tasty.
I love Lucky Charms. They're magically delicious.
Woo! Frosted too.
We're gonna get some morsels here, some chocolate chips.
Yummy.
Add them on there. And then here's where we get a little nastier. Okay, so we got some spicy Takis here. If you know what those are, they're crunched up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the Hershey syrup.
I don't know what spicy Takis are.
They're basically like a tortilla chip rolled up, kind of. And then there's put like a lot of red stuff that's probably not good for you.
Imagine Andy Cap's hot fries from our day. Like the stuff that's on top of Andy Cap's hot fries, on top of some Fritos, rolled up. Real hot.
Very spicy.
Andy Cap, isn't he from like the 20s?
Right. Hot fries. You never had hot fries?
What? Look at that. Wow.
And this is the big kicker.
This is the fun part. Oh, wait.
We're adding some soy sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, he eats soy sauce on everything. He eats it on noodles. He eats it on rice, but then every now and then he just goes for some soy on some other things, kind of like Elf did with the syrup.
Yes.
Wow.
It's one of your big food families. You gotta have it on everything. Keep it with you wherever you know.
So show them how you break up those Takis. So you put them in a bag.
You put them in a bag.
No, the regular one. Show them the big bag.
These.
Yeah. So you start like this.
Uh-huh.
What you're gonna do is you're going to crunch them up with your little spoon-looking thing.
Measuring cup.
Measuring cup. Yeah, that. And then you're just gonna hit them like this. Basically crunch them up.
All right. Go to our crunched ones.
Okay, so now
Pre-crunched?
when you get them like that, very crunchy, you're going to get a little handful in here and then just sprinkle it on top.
Mmm.
Well, I've been getting comments that you eat like Elf. You do have the 4 major food groups there: soy, chocolate, those 100-year-old tasty tacos, and Lucky Charms.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent
And you
work.
got fruit on there. Don't forget about those strawberries.
Oh, yeah, that makes it healthy.
Yeah. And, it just evens out everything else. You got to get something. You get your other piece of bread, slap it on there, smush it in, and you got.
Oh yeah, well, check out that. That's from the soy.
Oh, man.
Ugh.
What do you think of that,
Will.
Dave? That is nasty.
We're ready for a bite, I think. Bob, you think we need a bite each?
I think you
Yeah,
should.
we're gonna take a bite here. Okay.
Yep.
So let's set them down.
I think you should cut that in half so you get the
Set it
really make sure you get a nice bite in the middle of that thing. Just a nice
Oh,
bit.
yeah.
So if you're using eat on parental
Supervision.
supervision. Don't you don't want to.
We just went PG on this thing. We just went parental guidance.
Right. But safety first. Parents involved.
That's right.
All right.
Okay, you want the.
You have a bite. I'll have a bite. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Wow. What do you guys think of that sandwich in the chat there? Jeremy has a good question saying, does the Lucky Charms make it a breakfast sandwich? From your professor.
Great point. This was Noah's midnight snack, and sometimes cereal's the midnight snack. Takis are his 24-hour-a-day snack. Strawberries are when he's feeling healthy, and the soy just goes on everything. But a breakfast, I like it.
Hey,
I'm gonna
Noah,
do one more bite.
we have guests here. Jimmy's from Ecuador.
Ooh.
Noah is now an international food stylist. You're international. You've taught people about food all over the world.
I'm going up to mine.
They're great.
The Adakas are watching. Jared's watching. Kara. We have all kinds of things. CJ's watching. All right. What do you think the calories are in there? Big calories, huh?
I don't know how much a calorie is.
On that Lucky Charms box there, does it say that it has the good supply of vitamins for the day on the front? Usually they have the required vitamins, making it look
On
really.
the back, Noah, the nutritional
back?
value.
Usually it has a lot of vitamin D. What's that?
Oh, it said you can win $50 of Lucky's Gold.
There you go. Usually it has all the vitamin D you can use, particularly if you're eating it outside in Arizona. So, hey, that's great. Let's congratulate. No, that's a good sandwich there, and we're gonna put that recipe in the description under that on Facebook. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that is called Noah's Midnight Run with Takis.
I see now that someone's hitting their favorite YouTube channels. We got some ballistic squid. Noah used to look at that one. That's a good one.
I Ballistic Squid.
Yeah, Dude Perfect. We got some Dude Perfecters from Sean Ferry. That's a pretty hot one. I know lots of kids like that one. Lots of good channels coming in there.
Okay, great. All right. Well, thank you, Noah. Thanks for being in the kitchen.
Yes, no problem. Thank you
All
all.
right. All right. Is Dave Anderson on here? I want to talk to Dave and Evan about the Wheel of Destruction. You guys have been at the show, right?
Yes, yes, we have.
And Dave, you came with your dad, right?
I did.
And how old is your dad?
My dad right now is 78.
And how did it
At
go
that
when you
time,
came?
he's probably 76.
How did it go when you came to the show?
He loved it. We loved it. In terms of like it's geared, towards fathers and sons, and you think like young sons, but even my dad and I going, we got stuff out of it. We had a good experience together, sharing together, talking together. So even for a 70-year-old father and a 40-year-old son, it was great.
Yeah, your dad's great. We got to get him on the show some night. So Evan, you were there as the children's pastor. You welcomed us. It was fantastic. In fact, that's why we called you. We remembered you back and said, let's call Evan the night, like a few hours before the show, and you jumped on. I'm surprised you got that neon, blue bunk bed all built by the time you got your second show. But
It's crazy.
what did you think about the show and how it connected fathers and sons?
So the first time I actually came with a group of dads to like do a pre-show to make sure I wasn't showing our church anything real crazy. Make sure we didn't bring some lunatics in. So
Yeah, we wouldn't do that.
Yeah, it worked well. So the first time I had 5 dads. We took the church bus about an hour away to see it, and it was a great experience. All the dads on the way home talked about how much it encouraged them to have interaction and conversations with their kids about other things other than the normal stuff, about spiritual matters. And so it really has springboarded some of them into some good conversations with their kids and building that relationship.
Yeah, and Cody from Texas says him and his dad have a new tradition every year. They go to Born to Be Brave. I really hope you all have it this year. So we're working on it. We've had a little bit of a kink in our plans. But you know what has been great? To talk about ministry just a little bit. God has been working on our ministry in an amazing way, because we were preparing for some online stuff for the girls, but we didn't really have a lot planned for the boys because we were going to be out on tour. And when this happened, we've been working really hard day and night to put this show together, and we're reaching more people through our webcast and through our ultimately through our views than we have in the past. So that's a really cool thing, and I think we're going to get more content out than we ever have. So you see some of the things happening that God can use for good. I think families are spending more time together. It's been really neat for me and Dana we've been totally quarantined now for 12 days together. And I saw a meme where a lady was digging a big hole in the backyard, and like 6 foot long and 3 feet wide. And the husband said he thinks she might be digging for potatoes or something like that. But we haven't gotten to that point here. We're not digging for potatoes yet, but we've been having a good time. And Dana was telling me the other day that Iran released all of its Christian prisoners because they were afraid of outbreaks. So think about what the enemy uses for evil, God uses for good. Think about the creativity of that. Yeah. And so I believe that we can have trust in God as sovereign because he sees way ahead. At the same time, we need to be praying for the people, because it's been a hard time for a lot of people, including friends of ours. We're going to talk about, we're going to show the Wheel of Destruction, a little vignette. Since we don't have it set up yet, we're going to go back and review some of our biggest hits, I will say.
Nice.
All right, roll it. All right, there we go. We're getting that up. We got a lot more smashes in the next few days, and then real ones when we get the wheel set up. You know, it's interesting because we've learned what to smash more and more. Those are some early smashes. We smashed a few of those play type little girls' toys, but if they're spongy plastic, you could roll over them with a tractor trailer and not hit them. We hit that car in the beginning, and then we had to turn on its side and hit it again because it takes a real super duper hit. So we're having fun with the wheel, and we'll have it out soon. We're going to go to what's on the chat right now. Let's talk about the chat line, Evan.
Let's see. We got some True Girl moms are chiming in, and also we got some more of the we got some more of the Minecraft likers. Now it also said, do you ever slow-mo the smashes? Do you ever slow them up?
We're working right now. We have a new video guy that's going to start working on that. And we're going to do that particularly when we get the wheel in the warehouse. But we are going back to the old smashes, and we're going to slow them up, and that'll be really fun.
So this one smashed. They liked it when you did a Dora playset. And honestly, I think I saw one of y'all's first shows because I'm not sure you ever do this since then. But one of the shows I saw, they did, it looked like a can of nacho cheese and creamed corn. And you told me it took days to, clean everything up. So that's kind of off the table now.
I'll tell you a story just real quickly. We had a teaching that talked about Cheese Whiz. And so to have a prop on stage, we had a huge can, like a 5-gallon can of cheese. It said Cheese Whiz. Now, we had a fake label made for it that said Cheese Whiz because we couldn't find that big of a can of Cheese Whiz. So someone said one wrong line in the script.
Yep.
And there's a point in the script where I'm looking for things to smash. And the kids started chanting Cheese Whiz, and
couldn't stop them.
Well, we could have, but we just never can because we are kids ourselves to some extent. So we picked up that can. Everybody on the cast blames the other person, saying that it was their fault. But in that can was creamed corn.
Yeah.
And it smashed all over that glass. And none of the guys want to do windows. So we haven't done that for a while. But tomorrow night, I'm going to show the one time in Atlanta that we broke the glass in the beginning, in the front.
Well, yeah.
I have a reasonable video of that. It's not the greatest video, but when we broke the glass, and now we've replaced some of the plexi in the front with new polycarbonate that's 30 times more resistant. So it's been fun, and we'll have more of that for you. I see Jack Mylan's on there saying that they saw the Dora thing. I have Robert Beeson on, who's the oldest kid I know, with Solo Parent Society doing. I'm glad you're on here. Ernie Lay is on here. We have an average age that's creeping up there. We have some kids at heart.
So hey, here's a question someone sent in. Can we send in creative sandwich videos? I guess the sandwich video inspired some people. They want to know, can they send theirs into you?
They can send in recipes with pictures. I would love videos. We probably can't play them all, but I would love videos. We're looking for people that have special talents that can contribute, because in the next few weeks, we would like this to be a mostly user-generated show. We can't afford to have all kinds of people on every night, but we found Noah first week, found you, but we figured Noah's a big talent. He can hold his own, and he'll probably be promoted to the neon light pretty soon where you are at.
Yeah.
Hey, what else? Anything else? So we have some True Girls on there.
Oh yeah, I didn't know if I should ask you. I'm going to go for this one. It says, Bob, you're wearing a nice shirt and PJ pants to trick us like Dana on animus plants and bugs. Oh my.
I would never do that. As a professional, I would never do that. Although I did hear today that Walmart is selling way more pajama tops than bottoms. Of all their clothes, they're doing way more tops. I try to stay professional, so I'm wearing this right here. You see that?
Oh yeah.
I'm wearing my shorts.
Nice.
You're not really supposed to ask that, but it's I think, how many of you are in chat? You can also answer this question as we move on. How many of you have taken far less showers and need a haircut and have been wearing a lot more pajamas lately?
Oh yeah, Bob, I did a scavenger hunt with our church family, and it was not a scavenger, a bingo card. And on this bingo card, one of the markings was have not showered in 4 days. Out of every participant, not one marked it. I am convinced they're liars. Someone
I'm,
has to not shower.
I'm one day away from that. I could win that bingo. No, I did take one last night, but I have taken less. All right. So send us your crazy recipe. Send us pictures. Send us something. We'll try to get it on there. We're going to go right now to something I've been wanting to do for a long time. In all seriousness, actually for years, Dave worked with me at the school for 15 years. Dave Anderson, who we're going to bring up here. And Dave has hundreds of games. He continues to recycle them to keep the best games, but he introduced us to games that most people have never heard of. And what I loved about what Dave was doing is he was introducing our community and our family to cooperative games, which I'm going to I call them no cry games, which I'm going to let Dave Anderson, he's in Phoenix right now. He's the husband of Cheesy Anderson, who's a very popular host of our other shows and our online Bible study on Monday nights. By the way, if you have a sister that is your age, 7 to 12, 7 to 13, online Bible studies on Monday night. We have 1,005. We have 1,005 signups so far. That's over 2,000 moms and daughters on Monday night. So sign up for that. It's amazing. As we've canceled our shows, again, the Lord's work to where we're now doing these online Bible studies more. That's actually 6 nights of an hour and a half shows with moms and daughters. So Dave, tell us about cooperative games and what they look like and a little bit about what we can do during the quarantine.
Okay. Well, if you're like me, you're staring at a lot more screens. So kids, you're staring at screens. Dads, you're staring at screens. I'm on them constantly right now. And really, it was when I was in grad school, because I love video games and I play video games. And I found that when I finished it, my mind was just roaring, just ripping, and it was harder to concentrate. And that's when I started looking for other ways to get entertained with types of games. That's when I got into board games and this whole world out there of really cool games. So I still love video games. I play Rocket League right now. Any Rocket League fans out there? I like that a lot. But board games have been instrumental in my life in my own kind of mental development, but then getting groups together to have fun together. And one of the coolest things I found right away was cooperative games. So the first one I played, ironically, was called Pandemic. So great game, one of my favorite games in terms of what's going on right now. Maybe not that appropriate, or maybe it is. You're trying to save the world from a pandemic. And so what happened was I sat down with this game and it said it was cooperative, and I didn't know what that meant. And basically it's all of you against the game board. And so they create a board with a deck of cards or something that kind of works against you. And as a team, you got to work to defeat the board. So in Pandemic, you have to work to stop the diseases from spreading. And it's great. So there's lots of different cooperative games out there. Do you want me to run through some, Bob? Is that what you'd like me to do? Oh, you're on mute, I believe. Are you muted?
I was coughing.
No, good. Yeah.
No one likes. I was on the plane 2 weeks ago on the way back to Mexico. The lady next to me is wearing a mask, and I'm coughing a significant portion of the time. Very awkward. But
Yeah.
I'd like to talk to us about a few games that they can buy, and then a few games that they don't have to buy.
Okay. All right. So a couple games you can buy. Now, sometimes you think board games and you think strategy, like my kid can't sit there, or as a kid, I don't want to sit there. So let me give you a couple games that are like fast and fun. It'll get energy out as you're playing. First one of the first games I got, it's been a hit every time I played it. It's called Escape, the Curse of the Temple. It's a real-time cooperative game. And so what happens, this is actually an expansion for it here. You can find it on Amazon. There's lots of escape rooms out there and things like this. So this is called Escape, the Curse of the Temple. And what's neat about it is it's played to a soundtrack. So you download an app on your phone, you get the soundtracks on YouTube. YouTubers have made all kinds of different versions of the soundtrack. Everyone grabs 5 dice. You start rolling your dice as fast as you can. You're talking to each other. You're yelling at each other. We've got to put down this tile to get in here. We got to find this treasure. Where are you? I need help. I'm frozen. Can someone come over here and help me? And almost every time I first introduce it, people are like, that's so nerdy. You got a soundtrack to a board game. And then once they start playing it, I just taught a few kids about it. A few kids, it's 3 weeks ago. And next week, they're like, we're playing Escape. It's phenomenal, and it's high energy, and it's over in 10 minutes because it's a soundtrack done. And I almost never play one game. As soon as you do that one, boom, they want to play another one. Lots of expansions, super cool. Highly recommend that. Another one, if you like Marvel, we showed this the other night on the other thing, 5-minute Marvel, like $18 on Amazon. Everyone gets to choose their favorite hero. You're battling villains. Everyone's got a deck of cards. Again, it's all of you versus the villain, trying to slap down this time cards instead of dice as fast as you can. Super cool artwork, lots of fun. You play 5 minutes. You roll on to a bigger baddie. You fight him together as a team. You lose together as a team. It's a fun way to introduce your kids to board games, to play board games without one person being the loser and everyone else being the winner. I'll just say 2 more and then I'll go into ones that you don't have to buy. First one up here, Horrified. I got that. It's great. Dads, especially because it's old time monsters. You got Frankenstein, you got the creature from the Black Lagoon, and you're all working together to play that, to defeat those monsters. They do a good job in that game. You don't kill anything in it. You're going in and you're like capturing, chasing them out. I like that aspect of it. I came home and my 8-year-old daughter had set it up and played it solo all by herself the one time. So she likes it that much. So those are some that you can buy that are out there that I like a lot. And I would recommend most of them. I think all of them are available on Amazon. You can check them out. And those are great cooperative ones you can buy.
One of the nice things, Dave, that we have enjoyed is the short, like you're talking about short games. We have games like Spyfall, which is my favorite game right now, that you can play immediately, and it takes, you got it right there. That is a phenomenal game. No game board, just you kind of make it. It's a phenomenal game. And it takes how long?
You set the timer. So usually it's like 8 minutes a game. And in that one, it's like everyone knows where they're at, but one person doesn't. So it's kind of cooperative or all against one, but then it changes after 8 minutes, it switches. So that's what's nice.
And one of the things, like, again, the reason that I like that is because one of the things that happens is you have people over for a party and they're going to teach you a game, and the game takes 35 minutes.
Yes.
And you might get to play it twice, maybe. And then you finally get started knowing it and you don't get to play it again. Mm-hmm. When you play an 8-minute game or a 10-minute game or a 5-minute Marvel, you can play that game 5 minutes or 5 times and actually learn the game and actually have fun with people when they come over. There's nothing worse than, going to somebody's house and not knowing how to play the game. Well, there is one thing worse. According to our research at the Born to Be Brave event, we have researched this extensively, and stepping barefoot on a Lego piece.
Yes.
The worst pain known to man.
I have done. So, yeah.
So what else do you have there, Dave?
Okay. Let's see. So let's go for ones that you don't need to buy. A simple thing you can do. We just did it the other night as a family. That is cooperative. It's called Picture Down the Lane. That's what I call it. It's got various names. All you need is a piece of paper, and a pen, and everyone grabs a piece of paper and a pen, and you give a category of some sort. So we did the other night, we did quotes, movie quotes. And so I wrote out, I started, and everyone writes down their quote at the top. I've got some papers here kind of showing what it is. My wife here wrote, I got 2 guns, one for each of you, a quote from Tombstone. I wrote, the rain in Spain is falls mainly in the plains. Mine was much more, I did My Fair Lady and you did Tombstone, my wife. That's bad showing for me right there. Anyway, so what happens is you write out that sentence and you write it near the top so that you can write it, and then you fold it over and everyone folds it over, you pass it to the right, and the next person has to draw a picture of that. So they open it up, look at the sentence, they have to draw their best picture to try and make the next person guess that sentence. So give them 2 or 3 minutes, draw that picture. They fold it over, pass it to the right. Next person opens it up, looks at the picture, can't look at the first sentence, looks at the picture. They have to write a sentence. And so it goes around, however many you get yours back or close to it. And it's hilarious. I mean, we played it and my girls are cracking up. My wife's cracking up. It's so funny because the quotes you get at the end are nowhere near the first quote, but you can see the evolution of it as it works down. So that's a great game. Another one that you can buy this one, but you can also make it if you wanted to, which I'm sure the publisher wouldn't like me saying that. But it's called Skull, and I don't have it here. I apologize for that. It's called Skull. So like Skull. And it allegedly came out of the Caribbean and pirates. And so that's cool. And all it is a set. Everyone gets a set of 4 coasters. And on those coasters, they've got 3 roses, and one skull. And it's a bluffing game in which it's a little confusing at first, but everyone I've played it with, from like brother-in-laws who don't love games, sit down, they're like, I like that game. Students that are like not my average, board game players, they're coming in and asking me, hey, can I borrow that game at lunch? It's great because it's a complete bluffing game. So everyone puts a coaster down, and then the person's trying to guess, hey, how many can I choose before I bump into a skull? So I won't go into the depth of how to play it, but that's been one of my most successful easy games. It's called Skull. You can look it up online. You could buy it if you wanted to. You can look at how it's played and figure that out. So that's been a really good one.
One of the things I don't like doing is bumping into a skull. Whether I'm playing a game or not, bumping into a skull is right up there with stepping on a Lego. If I had to decide, do I want to step on a Lego barefooted or bump into a skull? It would be close. It would be close. All right. Anything else, Dave?
No, that's good for me. Anything for me, you're good.
We're going to vote in the chat of whether we want Dave to come back weekly and do a weekly game review.
Oh, I could do that.
We're going to try that because I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And Matt, we're going to put all these games underneath there. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we're going to link to some of these games so we can put that in the description. And I think it's going to be
what was
really
the
great.
movie quote game called? What was the movie quote game called?
I just call that. I made up a name for that because literally, if there is a website called Board Game Geek, go there. You can find out everything you want to know. They call the game Eat Poop You Cat, which I didn't want to say because it's embarrassing. So I call it Picture Down the.
Are we on a delay here? Because I'm going to get cards and letters.
What? Poop? Cat? What's wrong? Come
You
on.
said it twice.
We saw those sandwiches. Okay.
Slow it down.
All right.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you.
Save it. But thanks, Dave. We really appreciate it. We'll see you next week, maybe. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Just put him on the spot there, but we love him. All right. Now, what do we have updating on the chat?
So Bob, basically, Jimmy Walker's his son needs a haircut, but if he can teach us some Spanish if we need some Espanol, special skill set. Regina, this is one game a lot of people around here love. This game. It's called Throw Burrito. It's just this real fun game where you literally throw burritos. And back to mealtime.
Real burritos?
No, it's like little soft
Game
ones.
burritos.
Not real burritos. That's too crazy.
I
Yeah.
like them.
Yeah, it's fun. Erica Raffin, this is a recipe. I'm going to try this one tonight. Bostic sticks, garlic salt, butter, and Parmesan cheese.
Wow.
You can't go wrong with that.
There's something tasty sounding about that. But
Yeah.
what's
That's where we're at. So that's where we're at on the feed.
what's the main ingredient of that sandwich?
I think the sticks.
What are they?
I think that is those. Now I could be wrong. My guess is, you go to the fancy Italian restaurants and they're in like a little cup in the middle. I'm gonna have to Google this to be sure, but
Okay.
maybe
Okay.
she can hook us up in this feed and let us know. But
All
I'll
right.
get votes for Dave coming back. That's the
All
link.
right, great. Marshall's on there. Marshall Stube. Everybody's on there now. It's looking fun. So what we want to do now is we're going to pivot towards something from Matt and Daniel, and then some Bible teaching at the end. That ties into what our theme here is on the Lego front. But we have some exciting announcements, and appreciate Matt and Daniel coming on. They love being on television and making speeches and things like that. But Daniel's a natural. I talked to him beforehand, and he's
Bro.
in. These guys are always creating things. Matt's name is Matt Rigner, but I call him Matt Guyver because he's always,
Sweet.
give him a roll of duct tape and a Q-tip and one Lego, and he'll get you to Spain. All right, Matt, how's it going tonight? Matt and Daniel, you're up.
It's going great. Thanks for having us on. As Bob said, this is my son Daniel, and we do love to make things together as father and son. We like to work on stuff. Some stuff we'll be able to show you tonight. Other stuff maybe a little bit down the line we'll show you a little bit more. If you study the scene behind us, you may see a hint as to some of the things that may be coming later on. So, but our favorite thing, I think, by far in this family is Legos. And I'll let Daniel maybe talk a little bit about his Legos and maybe when he got started and what he really likes about building with Legos.
All right, Daniel.
So one of the main things I like about Legos is you can be very creative with them, and like and you can either buy the models and kits, or you can just freestyle however you want. I prefer doing the freestyle because I just get to put out whatever I want rather than looking at an instruction manual and going step by step through each instruction needed.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I like that because when I was growing up, we didn't have, I don't think, the kits that much. We just had little pieces of dirt that we put sticks in and try to get them to paste them together. Dirt had just been invented.
You're absolutely right. I remember when I was a kid that basically the Legos I played with as a kid looked an awful lot like what's laying on the counter here in front of us. They were all just little Lego pieces. So when I had two boys of my own and we started getting into Legos, I realized what was out there and realized that an entire industry had developed while I wasn't watching. It is absolutely incredible what's out there. So we started small, right, with some small stuff that they could do, and eventually moved up to the bigger Lego models that I think maybe once a year they get a big Lego they like to put together. And while we were doing that, I have to admit, I got a little envious, a little jealous. So I had to get one for myself, which is the one over my shoulder here. I made a deal with them that I would get it, I would put it together, and then they could play with it. It's actually a fully functioning crane, which is pretty cool. It's made out of Lego Technic. But Daniel, why don't you tell us what are some of your favorite things that you've built so far?
A few of my favorite things would probably be, since this crane actually had, it was a 2-in-1. So there was one that was in the instruction manual, and then one of them you had to go onto the Lego website and find the instructions online. And my brother and I did that just like maybe 2 days ago, and we took the whole thing apart and rebuilt it into this crane design, the mobile tower crane, instead of the regular cranes that you would see.
That's cool. That really inspires creativity.
Yeah, there's a lot of neat building stuff. If you look right off here to Daniel's right, there's actually a little Lego architecture piece that is of the Lincoln Memorial that he put together. That's kind of cool. So really what I'm realizing as a dad is that Lego is not just a kid thing anymore. It really does. It's something that can bring the two of us together. And I have another son as well who is just as good at putting Legos together. And it's a lot of fun. And you can really run the whole gamut of, like we said, the big models or just the little free play stuff. And what's the most recent one you did?
Oh, I did a Saturn V rocket from the Apollo 11 mission.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sweet.
I think we may have a photo of that available.
Oh, wow. Look at it. Oh, wow. That's your creation?
Yes, I think it's about 3'2", like 3 foot and like 3.5 feet tall.
Wow.
And at the very bottom, there's a little lunar excursion module that has 3 tiny astronauts and the flag on it. And on the right, there is the other capsule that landed in the water at the very end.
Oh, nice. Nice. Great job. We have an announcement tonight, right? In our effort to keep the students involved, we're going to be formulating a little contest that has something to do with that beauty in the middle of the table.
Yes, it's true. What we'd like to do now, I think, is, as Daniel mentioned, he really likes to free build with Legos. Found a lot of Legos either on eBay or at yard sales where you can just pick up box lots of Legos, which is great. It's a great way to be creative, and you can find a vast amount of unique spare pieces that people don't use. So that's been a favorite thing of his to do. And I think now we have a video of his most recent free build that he would like to share.
Wow. Wow. I'm a little verklempt. That's an old TV term that Wow, that's great, Daniel. That was a cool video too. Could we afford that video? Because that looked really expensive.
Yeah, it sure did look really expensive.
Look
No,
at
we
that.
did that on low budget. But so what that will allow us to do now is, you saw one of Daniel's free Lego builds. You see these little Legos scattered around here. What we would like to do is issue the challenge to all of the dads and sons out there to come up with your greatest Lego free build or a Lego kit, whichever you have. And after we sign off here tonight, start posting those to Facebook in the comments section, or you can email your photos to tv@borntobebrave.com. And as Bob said, we are formulating a contest type thing. The exact length of time hasn't been quite decided, but there will be some sort of cool, I think, Lego associated prize along with it. So get those Lego builds going. Get logged on to Facebook there, and under the comment section there in the little chat area, go ahead and post those pictures after we're off tonight. We're going to be picking a couple that we'll share to show you throughout the next couple of episodes.
All right, great. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, Matt. That was really cool. Very cool. Very, very cool. All right. Hey, we're going long tonight. I can't believe I've been having fun, but we're going a little long. But we're going to end tonight with Evan, who is going to talk a little bit. Maybe you should start just for a minute, Matt, and talk about. Do you have any?
Yeah, I do. You know, it's interesting. Most people that know me and my parent or my boys and my wife especially know that I like to turn everything into a lesson. And Legos would be no exception to that. So what we're essentially doing here is we're building models. We're either making models in our head of things that we've dreamt up, or we're building models according to somebody else's plan. And I thought, it occurred to me at one point that there's something really interesting to think about when you're talking about modeling, either in Lego or any other models for that matter. So I went on and I looked up the definition of model. And there are two little definitions here I'd like to share. And one of them is it's a three-dimensional representation of a person or a thing, and it's typically on a lesser scale than the original. And the other is a system or thing used as an example to follow or imitate. And it really occurred to me that we're kind of all models, right? We model some sort of behavior. We model something that we're looking up to. We're modeling something that we endeavor to be. And the question is, what is that? What are we modeling? So I think at this point, Evan could probably talk a little bit more about that, maybe go a little deeper with that idea. But when I talk to my kids about this, that's how I share it with them is, what are you modeling for others to see?
All right, great. Evan, are you there?
Yeah, still here.
Okay, why don't you give us a couple minutes of
Sure. So when he was talking just then about how models are basically imitations of the real thing, biblically, when we look at God's word, I think for sure he challenges us to be imitators of Christ. And there's a person specifically who does that, which is Paul, who wrote a whole lot of the New Testament. In the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 1, he says, "Be imitators," is the word he uses, "of Christ as dearly loved children," which when you're a kid, it's easy to imitate something, okay? But then if we look at also 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1, Paul is basically talking to the church, but he has taken it to another level. He's saying, you know what? He said, I'm challenging y'all to follow me while I follow Christ. So I think with that verse, what we see is, dads, this is really on us. Our goal is to emulate Christ and be the example or model for our sons. And they see that in us, and then they continue to do that. So just like Paul was saying, hey, watch me, I'm following Christ, church. We should be telling our kids, hey, watch us, we're following Christ, and we want you to be Christ followers as well. It just comes full circle. Paul is a great example of making sure we're imitating Christ at all times.
Hey, thanks. Thanks, Evan. That's great. And thanks for hanging on with us. I see that we're at 7:47. On my sheet here, it says that we've been on for 1 hour and 13 minutes. And I thought, have we been on for 1 hour and 14 minutes? But that was us beforehand. So appreciate you hanging on with us. But hopefully that was a good 47 minutes of your night. We're going to do this again. We're going to do this again on Monday night. We're going to take a couple days off because I have another show after this for our school. But I hope you enjoyed it. We have a lot more coming up next week. I talked last night about this thing right here. I got this bulletproof clipboard as a gift for Christmas. Next week sometime, we're going to show you why it got messed up a little bit. We haven't quite gotten there yet, but we're gonna show you a little bit about that probably next week sometimes. Things that are coming up soon. But thank you for tuning in. We're trying to figure out what time we should have this. It's nice to have it at 7 because we do get done. But if you think 8's better, you can vote in the chat and let us know because we'd like to have it live and with you guys on here. I'm going to pray and close us out. And hopefully you will be back with us on Monday. And I thank the team for coming out. I think it was a fun thing. I learned a lot. And thanks for the scriptural truth too. Thank you, Noah and Daniel, for killing it today. Killing it. I'm just afraid they're so good. They're going to start unionizing, and then you know, it's good.
Right.
We want to stay on. So I'm okay with unions too. No worries. Everything's good. All right. No worries. All right, Lord, thank you for tonight. Thank you for the parents, the fathers, the sons that have been on tonight, the moms. Lord, I pray that you would use this as a tool to reach out to those that are a little bit bored in the house, that they get a good jolt of biblical teaching and just good fellowship, learning different things and encouraging them to send in things and participate with us, that we could honor their talents and their abilities. But thank you tonight for those of us who are healthy and that you protected. And Lord, I pray for those that aren't healthy. I pray for our parents who are more susceptible to this, our grandparents. I pray that we would keep them in prayer, that we would learn to grow closer to you because of this. Those are our choices, to trust in your sovereignty, in the fact that even though we don't know what is going on or why it's happening, you do. And we start to see glimpses of your eternal knowledge and wisdom way above what we can ask or think or even imagine. You have good gifts for us, and we trust you. We trust you in the dark places, and pray for this country, pray for the people who are sick and around the world, that you would defeat this virus in the time that you desire for our benefit the most, and coming closer to you. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Thanks everyone for coming out. We'll see you Monday night at, do we have anything in the chat about what time? Anybody there yet? I haven't seen that.
7s and 8s. Look like some 7s and 8s. We'll split. We'll just have to make a decision later, probably.
I'll tell you how you split that. Noah, how do you split a 7 and an 8?
7:30.
Booyah. 7:30.
7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9. You know, the dad joke.
Right. That's right. Dad joke.
Sorry.
Joke alert.
Resistant.
All right.
Boo.
7:30 Monday. You called it. We'll see you then.